Morning, guys. First of all, just start off, it's second bye week, going into our second bye week. It's been a little bit different schedule as we've gone through it. For us, I think it gives us an opportunity to get healthy. That's the positive. Negative is, we play one game in basically a 4-week period, so we're excited to get busy back here this coming Saturday. As far as where we're at, got 4 games left. November, it's always been a big opportunity for a big push by us. Take that opportunity now to begin here versus Illinois. Excuse me. As far as last week, obviously Joe Bocci is out. To save everybody the trouble asking me the questions about it, I made a statement about Joe and the thoughts. The appeal process is really something that I'm not really involved in. That's involved with our trainers and our athletic training staff and the doctors, etc. in the Big Ten. So we'll see how that shakes out as we go. As far as Illinois, got a lot of respect for Lovie Smith and what he's been able to accomplish this year. I think they're playing exciting football. I think they're motivated. Got an opportunity to win 6 wins as they come here, so it should be a great football game with a lot of competition, etc. Playing very well on the defensive side of the ball, leading the conference in takeaways. Number 1 in the nation actually in takeaways, averaging about 2 takeaways a game in the Big Ten Conference. Plus 11 in the turnover margin in the Big Ten Conference games itself, so very productive in that area. So the big message to our offense is ball security. Got to take care of the football, whether it's throwing it or whether it's running the football or pass protecting. If you look at them defensively, you're getting the turnovers. When you look at them offensively, you've got, I think Braden Peters is doing a nice job of running the offense. First of all, they have 2 tailbacks that have been very productive. And number 9, their wide receiver is sort of a jump ball guy that's made some big plays for. But they're being more consistent on that side of the ball. Special teams, good kicker, good kickoff guy, good punter that spreads it all around, and they're playing well in that area as well. So with that, I'll take some questions and we'll sort of go from there.
Mark in the middle here. No Daryl Stewart, no Matt Allen on the depth chart. Can you give an update on either of them, and do you expect them back this year?
Yeah, I expect them back, but we'll always try to just be, said, hey, if a guy's not going to play for sure, we'll make that announcement. Those 2 guys will not play. Daryl's out for a time period. Should be back. Matt should be back probably a little earlier, but we'll wait and see. But I think we'll get them both back, but we'll have to see.
Go ahead.
Mark, did Matt get hurt on that play, or he got hurt on that play when Owerke came back in?
He got hurt, he went down on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess on that play, what did you see and what happened with the injury?
Yeah, I don't talk specifically about the injury. I just right now he's out. I mean, I don't really talk and get into too many specifics about it. This is the way we've always done it.
As far as Joe goes with Noah Harvey, I assume that's the plan with him on the depth chart first. What do you see in replacing him, and how difficult is it both on field and off field with a 2-year captain?
Well, Noah's been practicing there and has gotten game reps there, and he's been in our nickel package in various places throughout the season. So he's a seasoned player a little bit. He's an outstanding athlete. He can really run. He's got some size to him. He's explosive. He can jump. So he's 35-inch vertical guy, 10-foot long jump guy. What he needs is game experience, more game experience at the Mike position. He'll get that this week. But everybody has an opportunity. Everybody has a time. So this is his time. This has it gives him an opportunity, as well as a couple other guys to get in the mix and play well. And we expect them to play well. That's why we coach them all. We coach the 1s and 2s systematically. That's been our approach, and we've got to go with the next man up philosophy.
Mark, with that, obviously Joe's captain, he's a senior, he's a leader, he's not here anymore, at least for the time being. Do you have to talk to the team at all, pull rank, or pull guys in and try to keep them focused? I mean, this is a pretty big blow, it seems.
Yeah, first of all, it was a tough deal last Thursday when we made the announcement to the team. Joe is still a part of our football team, comes to practices, and is basically a student coach, wanted to be involved with us. Plans to be at the game on Saturday as well. He's just ineligible to play right now as we go through this. well, we want to keep him a part of our process. I think that's what we want to do. That's what he would like to do as well. So that's number one. Number two is, hey, everybody's got to pick it up. Everybody's got to play 1/11th better to make up for a guy that's lost. He's a very good football player. He's a team leader. Everybody's got to move in that direction as well. Who fills that void as a team leader, I think is important as well. But we've got guys that have led in the past and are leaders within themselves that pick up the slack. So thus far what we've had is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, very good practices, as well as yesterday. So the energy is very, very good, and like I keep saying, you know, young people are resilient, and they put things over here, and it's an opportunity for somebody else to step forward.
To be clear, ineligible means you can't practice, too, correct?
That's correct.
Considering that this is the final month of the season, what do you expect the timetable for the appeal process to be?
You know, I really don't have any knowledge of that because I really haven't gone through that before, the experience of that. So, yeah, that's sort of out of my hands. And I got to focus on what I can control. What I can control is, or what we can control, is putting the next guy in there, getting ourselves ready to go, having a positive mental disposition in terms of what we do and bring energy.
I mean, how challenging has all this, you know, off the field stuff been just for yourself? I mean, is this the kind of toughest period in your coaching career that you faced?
Oh, the bar is set high. The bar is high, so. No, you know, learn to deal with things, and I've told our football team at times, you know, it can always get worse. And it really can. And I've also said is, you know, how strong are you? How strong are you as an individual, you know, to hold up to things that happen, whether it's a missed play on the field or whatever case off the field. You know, how strong are you? What do you got to do to sort of stick your foot in the ground and drive back forward? So that's what we've tried to do. That's what I try to do as the head football coach of this program, is make sure that we're moving in that direction. And I think that's the appropriate thing to do. So, you know, don't take that pity me type of attitude. You know, we've got to move on. Got to get ready to go. We've got other people coming here to play. We've got big games this month. Yeah, we've got 4 games left to play. We're a 4-4 football team, and you know, we've got something to make this season. So we've got good young players. We've got players that a lot of people recruited. Players that come here with an idea that they're going to play their way through Michigan State and come out the other end and play on a bigger stage. So we've got good players. We need those players, even though they're young, those players have an opportunity now to step up and play. And that's exciting. Sort of sets the tone.
The outside narrative is what it is, but you have that opportunity with 4 games left. Is that what you're really trying to do inside the walls over at the Duffy? Just making sure that those guys focus on this last 4 games and to finish as best you guys can?
Yeah, you know, I mean, in football, I mean, the reality is you truly are focusing on, okay, what's the next play, what's the next defense, what's the next kick, what's the next situation, because, I mean, that in itself, I said this the other day on the radio, that in itself is a game in itself. It really is. I mean, everybody's got to be on the same page, going in the right direction, doing the right thing, and then they got to beat their guy and dominate their man. And then you put a string of those together and good things happen. But you can't look past one game, you can't look past one play. You need to focus on your job, do your job, and get yourself ready to go. And that's the way we've always done it, win or lose, success or times of struggle. We try to do that, and it's benefited us by doing that. We take the next man up mentality, and it's happened before. You know, we lost Connor Cook going in the Ohio State game, and you know, 2 quarterbacks quarterbacked that game in 2015, and we won. The bottom line is, can you win? So that's what I'm focused on. You know, what do you got to do to win a football game? And the first thing you got to do against these guys is don't turn the ball over. And we can control that to some degree. We can control that. Now they're going to be raking it, pulling it out, but we do the same, so we can control that game.
I'm just sort of wondering if you could give us some insight into maybe what Joe, if he was able to speak to the team and what his message was, because I'm sure he had the opportunity to talk to everybody.
Yeah, he talked to our football team, but I think those things are a little bit private. I can tell you there was a lot of disappointment, a lot of sorrow.
Mark, what do you see out of Daly Harding won
Yeah.
Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, and he's, I think,
Number 9,
leading
yeah.
Big Ten tackles per game.
Yeah, averaged about 12 tackles a game. Jack Hansen's ripping the ball off of him. Very good player, active player, can run. Had a big pick last week for an interception for a touchdown. Playing at a high level, and he's a downhill scraping linebacker, that type of thing. But he's been very effective for him, having a good year.
Mark, what would you say the biggest reason is for Illinois to be able to turn it around a few weeks ago?
Turnovers. I think, turnovers give you a chance to even up the playing field. You're +3 turnovers against Wisconsin, all of a sudden the game gets a little tight. And then they start to believe in themselves. I think they did a nice job since then of capitalizing on that, building it in the Purdue game, and then obviously Rutgers this past week. So they were on a 3-game win streak. But the turnover margin +11 in your Big Ten games is they've got 6 games, so do the math. So when you do the math on that, it's a 1.75 game, and that puts you right there. I think when we're +2 turnovers, in my history here at Michigan State, we're 41-2. So you got to come up with those numbers. If you come up with those numbers, good things are going to happen.
Mark, Nick St. continued to play most as co-starters this week. What have you seen from those guys, and do you expect them to play down the stretch?
Nick is an extremely athletic guy. Blake Buter's played in there as well, so it's an either-or situation, so we'll see where we go with that. Tyler Higbee's played there in the past as well, so he's an emergency guy probably. But Nick's a very athletic guy. He's been a guy that we've said great things about. He's been working number 2 pretty much at center the entire season, and now is his time to have an opportunity. So he's challenging because he's a freshman, but the guy plays hard. He's extremely athletic. He's a 300-pound guy that is athletic and can run. Been impressed with Illinois' offensive line too, I should say that, and I think their catalyst is their center.
Mark, with Darrell out this week, he's obviously having a career best year. Do you expect Larice to step up and kind of capitalize on some of the flashes that we've seen from him at times, like last year at Penn State and other moments?
Yeah, Larice Nelson's going to have opportunities in there, step up at the F position. We'll also play guys around a little bit. Obviously, Trey Mosley got involved last year. Julian Barnett's last week. Julian Barnett's, or 2 weeks ago, I guess. I mean, it's been a while, but Julian Barnett's been playing the entire season. C.J. Hayes, Cody White, obviously, is a guy that becomes more of a factor as you go, and he's been a factor all year. So we've got guys that can catch the ball, big guys that can run. And they've got to move forward with the opportunity.
Mark, I'm curious to know where the challenge lies when your team is a double-digit favorite against a program like Illinois. I mean, obviously they're scrapping for a potential bowl bid, and you guys come in as heavy favorites in this game.
Well, the challenge, I think, is, and I think we knew where this season was at we knew we were going to play 3 or 4 road games in that second stretch. We knew we were going to play Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State. We also knew we were going to have a bye, 1 game, then another bye. But the challenge is you got to get up off the mat a little bit and had some different things happen, Joe Bocci or a couple of different injuries, but you got to get up off the mat and get ready to play. So the challenge to me is, hey, we played 3 very good football teams, and now let's go. It's November, we're coming down the stretch. You got a hot team coming in here, but a football team that I believe, out and talking about our team, I believe our team will be ready to play. And again, it comes back to ball security and making plays. Got to be able to make plays on the field, and you got to be able to have explosive plays, and you got to be able to stop explosive plays, play well on special teams. So there's a lot of different things.
Can I follow that up?
Sure.
I'm sorry. So does that mean that it's not hard to get them motivated and say, hey, you guys have to have all of your, especially with Michigan the week after, to say you guys have got to have all of your focus on this team right here?
All our focus is right here. It's on ourselves. It's on what are you going to do now. It's on Illinois. The entire focus, and I think our players are very focused right now in terms of what they have to do. Sort of a wounded animal a little bit type of mentality. So we know what we have to get done. We know we understand the situation I think that we're in here with just where we've been and what's gone on. I mean, the the 2 bye weeks, all these different things I'm talking about. So I think we understand that, but I go back to what I said before. Young people are very resilient. I think our guys are excited to play. We've had very good practices, very good energy practices. You know, guys with a lot of energy, guys sort of pushing and stoking the fires a little bit, and things of that nature. So we've got to get ourselves ready to go. That's the bottom line, you know. You only got so much time, and then that hourglass flips. And you've got opportunities to get it done. So 4 days plus, about 4 days from now, you know, we're going.
Mark, I wonder, I know you're the head coach and you have strength staff and trainers that work with these guys, but how much education do you guys put into in terms of telling guys what they can and can't put in their bodies, and that you have to do it again this week?
Constant education.
So they're fully aware?
They're fully aware, absolutely. Fully aware. Our training staff and our weight staff, they do a great job, so fully aware. So, you know, I'm not going to second guess that aspect of it.
And then, do you have any hope that this appeal will come through? Was this accidental, or is there any more details you can share on that?
Again, I don't know that's up to our trainers and our medical staff to figure all those things out, and that's something that Joe has to share with them in terms of what went on and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I can't tell you the time frame. I can't tell you any of those type of things because really had not gone through it before.
Mark, what's the status of the kicking competition? Obviously, Matt's been struggling lately, but he's a guy who's kicked well in the past.
Yeah, you know, when you got a first-team All-Big Ten kicker coming back, you want to pin your hopes on that guy and say, continue to believe in him and say he's the guy. And then conversely, the guy behind him, Cole Haan, needs to kick well in practice if there's going to be a change to that. And but right now, I've tried to stay with our guy and believe in him. But we've got to be better. I don't think there's any question about that. You know, the games played, you know, they're tight games and things of that nature. You got to make the kicks.
Has there been a clear separation in practice?
In practice, there has.
Mark, I'm just wondering, Brian Lewerke, you know, the quarterback interchanging that went on in the last game against Penn State. I know you're trying to find a hot hand in that scenario, but is he the guy you're going to stick with the rest of the season through, or is it time to try to get more of those guys some more opportunities?
No, Brian's a guy. I think he gives us the best chance to win right now. I do think, though, that if you're not having success, that the option of moving to another guy there and giving them an opportunity is the right thing to do in that scenario. But I think he's played well enough for this year to warrant that at this point. But, you know, it's game to game as we go through this thing. I'm not going to sit there and say never ever. But he is a quarterback at this time, and I still believe in him in terms of getting the job done and throwing the ball, running the ball that allows us to win.
Is that something kind of across the board as well with some of the younger players trying to get these opportunities as well?
We're going to play the best players to the best of our ability. We're going to look at things and play the best players. And that best players play. That's always been our motto. That will always be our motto. I don't care if the guy's a freshman, a senior, a junior, whatever, a walk-on, a scholarship players. We're going to try and do the very best we can to look at all the information that we have and say best players play. To try and win every football game.
Mark, we saw Shakur come back last week, and now he's listed a co-starter with Josh. Is that kind of a fluid, open competition, or are you kind of playing a role in the three corners, just depending on matchups?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes in the game, and it's a little bit of a competition thing. We'll also see how it goes in the game.
Any other questions?
Before I get off of here, I just want to congratulate our women's cross-country team on winning the Big Ten championship. Tremendous achievement by them. And then also wish our women's basketball team and our men's basketball team the best tonight as they start their season. So that look forward to everybody being out there. Need a big push. After this, we have 2 away games. Our schedule is lined up just perfectly this year. But we're looking forward to a big game this weekend, and we need everybody there. Thanks, go green.